It's seldom that we get to feel what it's like to live without the internet. However, the state of using up our monthly data volume is nothing compared to the actual consequences of the internet shutting down. A big part of our world only works with the help of the internet, and its breakdown would have far more consequences than all of us could possibly imagine. For a foretaste, here are 8 things that would happen if the internet broke down. Number 8. Traffic chaos. If the internet would just suddenly shut down, we'd have a huge problem right outside our door, because our entire traffic works with the internet. Traffic lights wouldn't switch properly, buses and other public transportations would probably be put to a halt, and planes would remain on the ground for some time. Traveling far distances wouldn't just be a trip through hell, but also nearly impossible for everyone without their own vehicle. Welcome to the Stone Age. And number 7. Knowledge gap. Most people probably aren't aware of this, but the biggest part of our knowledge comes from the internet. Just quickly look up on Google what you'll get to eat when abroad, or how to repair your washing machine. This wasn't possible though back in the day, and if the internet were to break down, we'd have to be satisfied with libraries again and get help from real experts in certain fields. Also, many schools work with digital end devices and the internet nowadays, which could lead to the possible shutdown of many schools. Would we get dumber over time? Who knows? That's a different topic anyway. Number 6. Communication shutdown. What a surprise. Of course, lack of communication would be the most direct consequence of the internet breaking down. It would be especially noticeable for our generation, as we grew up with mobile, internet-based means of communication. No more SMS, no more text, no more emails, not even Facebook would be available, and we'd have to use super old-fashioned ways like sending a letter, which again sadly includes a lot of work of the internet nowadays. Maybe go for the carrier pigeon or a messenger on a noble steed? And number 5. Loss of money. It's tragic enough that there's so much at stake in the case of the internet breaking down. Technically, really everything is at stake, your money included, because if banking and stock markets don't work anymore and nobody can use their credit cards, getting money would become nearly impossible. Banks wouldn't be ready for the huge demand and wouldn't be able to check any identities without their customers' databank, so they wouldn't pay out anything. This wouldn't just mean that no one could access their money, but also that millions of people would lose their job just like that. Number 4. Food supplies. We've already talked about the lack of WhatsApp conversations as well as traffic. Probably the worst consequence of the internet breaking down would be the collapse of food supplies. Most food suppliers worldwide work with the help of the internet, for example whilst delivering, reordering with the producers, or logistics. In any case, if the system were to be put to a halt for quite some time, this would lead to empty supermarket shelves in the end. If you've got a farm nearby, you should consider yourself lucky, because you won't get to enjoy that papaya from Costa Rica for a long time. Here we are in the top 3. Political collapse. Not just the banks, but also all important public authorities would be seriously overwhelmed with the state of no internet. The police alone is extremely dependent on their own database, as well as quick communications, not just internally, but also with other services like the FBI. The connection to politics would change massively as well, and would be disrupted for quite some time. And we all can guess what happens when the leaders of our world aren't up to date with events. Number 2. And here we've reached our conclusion, which summarizes everything we've just mentioned to one big consequence. No food, no money, disruption of public services. This would sadly lead to uprisings and worldwide panic. Demonstrations are unlikely to take place peacefully, considering the circumstances, and restoring order would be very difficult for the police and fire brigades due to the lack of means of communication. Most importantly, many criminals and troublemakers wouldn't be scared of getting caught, as security cameras and other ways of digital recordings wouldn't work anymore. What should we expect as a consequence of all these things? I'd rather not think about it. The truth remains that we're more dependent on the internet than we could imagine in our day-to-day lives. And finally, most importantly, number 1, no more MadeMyDay. Oh yes. Last but not least, here's the worst thing of all. Without the internet, you wouldn't be able to watch this video. It would be especially tragic if you didn't know what to expect if the internet shuts down, and how to prepare yourself for the consequences. Well, you never know, so you should check our channel regularly, because it could be all over by tomorrow. Now you can watch It's Not About Saving Our Planet, another very interesting video. That's it again for today. We'll see you next time. Bye!